Hello everyone. Welcome to another box break with the boys. We got a new set out and you know what that means. Collector booster box, baby.
Oh yeah.
So, this set is Kamigawa, Neon Destiny. We've gone back to the plane of Kamigawa, but in the future. Got a little, what do they call it? It's not steampunk, but I don't know exactly what they would call it. We're going to do our best to pronounce all of these names of these cards, so just bear with us when we're trying this out. And we hope that you enjoy the stream. So without further ado...
Clean cut.
Clean cut. Oh yeah, Neon Dynasty. Did I say Destiny?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, I put that in the description too.
Ooh, yikes.
Smooth. Maybe I'll try and change that. Alright. How about we let one of these boys try out this first?
Ooh, it's been a while since we've seen this. Let's go with this one. Just got ourselves done with the pre-release on Friday. So heir of the heir of the ancient fang. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter and target on a creature. Wait, no. When it enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 as long as you have a modified creature. So modified creatures are like equipments and auras and counters are modifications. So, nice. Gain 1 life, tap land. Walking skyscraper. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each modified creature. Again, with that modified. Trample. It has hexproof as long as it's untapped. 8/8, 8 mana. Nice. Containment Construct. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. Michiku's Reign of Truth. So these are the new like sagas and whatnot. They flip into creatures and whatnot, but most of the time they have 2 of the same thing and then it flips. So this one says target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each artifact and or enchantment you control 2 times. And then number 3 will almost always say exile this saga, then return it to the battlefield transformed under your control, and then you flip it and it's a creature. And then Portrait of Michiko gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. Our fancy lands. These lands are just way cool.
And they're cooler foil.
Oh yeah. Look at this. It's pristine. It's glorious. And this is the new special border, and this is Aki Ronin. I think so. Ronin. But whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So that's another archetype in this set, the like samurai attacking alone thing.
Also, have you seen these borders? They're beautiful.
Look at them. It's just glorious. And then here's another card with the warrior and samurai attacking alone. It's Janjo Exemplar. When a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's pretty nice. And then, this is another type of special border. They're pretty nice. Kappa Tech Wrecker. Ninjutsu. So ninjutsu is when you can attack, and then if an attacking creature you control is unblocked, then you can pay the ninjutsu cost and flash it in, tapped and attacking, and most of the time they'll have a deal damage trigger. So ninjutsu, its mana cost, it enters the battlefield with a death touch counter on it. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a death touch counter from it. When you do, exile target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Pretty nice.
Which is really nice since there's a lot of artifact and enchantment creatures in this set.
Oh yeah, there's tons. So, this is Blade Blizzard Kitsune Ninjutsu 4, and then Double Strike. So, maybe you're attacking with like a 1/1 flyer, and then you ninjutsu this guy in, and they take 4. Oh man, this card is not fun to play against. Reckoner Bank Buster. Yeah. Reckoner. It enters the battlefield with 3 charge counters on it. 2, tap, remove a charge counter from it, draw a card, then if there are no more charge counters on it, create a treasure token and a 1/1 colorless pilot creature. With this creature cruise vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. So you'll see this with a few of these vehicles. Also, return of vehicles, they're very fun. Kami of Celebration. So whenever a modified creature, going back to that modified, whenever a modified creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn, and then whenever you cast a spell from exile, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So that's pretty nice. And then Tameshi, Reality Archetype, yeah, something like that.
Architect?
Architect, yeah. I totally know English. Whenever one or more non-creature permanents are returned to your hand, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And then X and white, notice this is not a white card, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Return target artifact or enchantment card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. And then another new border. There's like 3 borders that we've seen. Weaver of Harmony. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. And then green, tap, copy target activated, or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. You may choose new targets for the copy. And March of Burgestein Life. I don't know how to pronounce that. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may exile any number of green cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Choose target creature with mana value less than X. Search your library for a creature card with the same name as that creature. Put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And then, yes, the crypto coin treasures. Very funny.
Is it double-sided? Yep.
Oh yeah.
Look at the other side.
And then it's these 2/2 Vigilant Samurais that we'll see on some cards, but that treasure man.
Alright, so what card are you most hoping to pull out of this set? Huh?
Oh, me? I don't really know. like really cool thing that I would think I would want to pull would be the completed cameo, which I've already got. So
Okay.
pretty cool. Phyrexian's taking over, you know what I'm saying?
How about you? What card do you think we need to pull?
I don't know. I just like the lands. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, someone here decided that they like other TCGs, so...
Oh yeah. Alright. On this, we start off with the Planner Ascension. Instant, exile target artifact or creature, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Next up is Here of the Ancient Fang. It enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter if you control a modified creature, and it's 2/3 in its own respect. Then a Rabbit Battery. Haste, equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has haste. And this is a new reconfigure thing, so it's an equipment creature where if it gets equipped, then it becomes an equipment and it gives the equipped creature its own stats, but then you can take it off of that creature and just make it its own creature. There we go. Orichi Merge Keeper. You can tap to add 1. As long as it is modified, it has tap to add 2 green. Here's a Saga. First 2, each opponent loses 1 life and gains 1 life. Then the third, you exile it and turn it into the Nezumi Road Captain. Menace. Vehicles you control have Menace. That's pretty cool. Then a nice Plains. Those are always awesome. We've next got the Guardians of Oboro. Defender, modified creatures you control have attack as though they didn't have Defender. So that's fun. Next is the Selfless Samurai. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, it gains lifelink until end of turn. And then you can sacrifice the Selfless Samurai. Another target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Next up is the Moon Circuit Hacker. Ninjutsu 1, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card unless Moon Circuit Hacker has entered the battlefield this turn.
So that's when you want to ninjutsu that stuff in. Oh, look.
Oh, look, now we got a foil one. And then, tribute to the Horobi. The first 2 say, each opponent creates a 1/1 black rat rogue creature token, and then the third one it transforms into the Echo of Death's Wail. Flying Haste. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of all rat tokens. Whenever it attacks, you may sack another creature. If you do, draw a card. So that's pretty fun.
That's mean. You just give your guy, like, you just give your opponent a rat and then take it and then sacrifice them to screw them over. That's
Oh, yeah.
funny.
Drum Bellower. Untap all, it has flying, it's 2/1, and untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step. So, a little bit of group hug.
Oh.
Weaver of Harmony. Enchant creature, Snake Druid. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1, and you can tap 1 green and this. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. You may choose new targets for the copy. Nice, nice. Ooh, the Restoration of Aiganjo. Search your library for a basic Plains card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Then you may discard a card. When you do, return target permanent card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to your battlefield tapped. And then you turn it into the Architect of Restoration. Vigilance, whenever it attacks or blocks, create a 1/1 spirit.
Is it a fly?
No, just Vigilance. Next up is the Reality Chip. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. As long as the reality chip is attached to a creature, you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. And then it does have reconfigure. Oh, here's a pilot and a spirit. Nice, nice.
Why is it that all this, like, the spirits in Magic have gone from 1/1 flyers to, like, what were they, like, 3/2 or something like that, golems, to now, like, 1/1 foxes? I thought that spirits were flying. What the heck, man?
I mean, I suppose when you die, you become a spirit, so foxes gotta die too, you know? They can't all be the same, right?
Yeah.
Had to buy a draft booster, yeah. I feel you on that. Alright. Mukotai, Ambusher, Ninjutsu 1, and Lifelink. So, 3/2, not too exciting. Brute Suit, lots of vehicles in this set. Vigilance, 4/3 with Crew 1. Anything that's Crew 1 is really good. Crew 2's alright. Anything above Crew 2 is putting in some work. Web Spinner Cuff, Reach, with Reconfigure 4. Equipped creature gets +1/+4 and has Reach. Not all of the Reconfigure creatures get the stats. Sometimes they just get other bonuses, which is a little strange. Imperial Recovery Unit. When it attacks, return target creature or vehicle card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the hand. Crew 2 for a 3/4. Befriending the Moths. 1 and 2, target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. And then exile and return, it's just a flying 2/4. We got there, guys. We got the Full Art Island in foil. Peerless Samurai, Menace 2/3. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, the next spell you cast this turn costs 1 less to cast. Regular and foil, back to back. Inkrise Infiltrator, 2 mana 1/2 flyer, pay 4, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Dukachi Shadow Walker, 4 black, Ninjutsu 1 and a black for a 5/5. So you get a little bit of a discount there. Spirit Sister's Call, 3 white for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, choose target permanent card in your graveyard. You may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with the chosen card. If you do, return the chosen card from your graveyard to the battlefield and it gains. If this permanent would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Here's our commander card in the borderless art. Imposter Mech. Crew 3 for a 3/1. You may have Imposter Mech enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature on an opponent controls, except it's a vehicle artifact with Crew 3 and it loses all other card types. So, copy their commander Crew 3. Sounds good. Sokenzan, Crucible of Defiance. Tap to add red. Channel for 3 and a red. Discard it. Create 2 1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens. They gain haste until end of turn. And it costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. Got our first dragon.
Woo! Wait, there's dragons?
Oh, is there dragons? Oh, is there ever? And they are brutal, especially for limited play. Kiari, the Swirling Sky, 4 blue, flying, ward 3. So ward means if they would be the target of a spell or ability, you must pay an extra 3 mana. When it dies, and this happens with all of the dragons, when they die, you choose one, and there will be 2 choices. Return any number of target non-land permanents with total mana value 6 or less to their owner's hands, or mill 6 cards, then return up to 2 instant and or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand.
And the borderless?
Yeah. Foil borderless Lion Sash. Pay 1, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a permanent card, put a +1/+1 counter on Lion Sash. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each +1/+1 counter on Lion Sash. Configure 2. And our double-sided token. So I've got a dear friend on Twitch who is trying to help out her mom, and they are currently doing a raid train where they're trying to make some money. They're doing a GoFundMe fundraiser. Links in the chat for the fundraiser if you can kick a couple bucks at it. If not, no big deal. And I will add this link to the YouTube chat once this goes live on YouTube. So thanks for your help if you can. So yes, as it was pointed out earlier, I would like to open a Hidetsugu with the neon color, but unlike the red, I think I would prefer blue. That's kind of my jam, so.
Kionsugu?
Hidetsugu.
Haratsugu, who's that?
That's that card that I played against you last night, where you pay 1 black to sack a creature and pay 3 tap it to deal damage equal to the top card of your library.
I love all the different borders they are introducing in Kamigawa.
Alright, so Kami of Restless Shadows. When enters the battlefield, choose 1. Return up to 1 target ninja or rogue creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And then number 2, put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. Masters Rebuke. Masters Rebuke. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. And then the White Shrine. This one's pretty good, not gonna lie. So it's Goshin Tai of Shared Purpose, Vigilance, and then at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token for each shrine you control. And as you notice, this is a 1/3. For me, it's kind of new having the shrines be a creature, but Onicult Anvil, whenever 1 or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Tap, sacrifice an artifact. It deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. So, what you notice is that you want to do this on your turn because you only get the 1/1 construct on your turn. But, pretty good card. The Shattered States Era. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste until end of turn. And then creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. And then number 3, exile and flip. Nameless Conquer. Trample haste 3/3. Then a swamp. That's new.
Ooh, those are cool.
It's kind of weird how it kind of just shows a flood. We've seen this guy almost in the exact same place too. So we have not seen Nezumi Blade Blesser. It has Death Touch as long as you control an artifact, and then it has Menace as long as you control an enchantment. So interesting there. Ooh, I don't know why, but I thoroughly enjoy the art on this card. And it's a pretty good card in general. It's Dekuchi Silencer, and then Ninjutsu 2. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may discard a creature card. When you do, destroy target creature or planeswalker that player controls. So you ninjutsu this in, and you get to destroy, like, you can discard a card and destroy one of their creatures or planeswalkers. then Moon Snare Specialist, Ninjutsu 3, so just kind of one. And then when it enters the battlefield, return up to one target creature to its owner's hand. Wow, so you'll flash that in and then just get rid of a blocker. That's pretty nice. Light Pause Imperior's Voice. When an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura with a different name than each aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield attached to Light Pause Imperior's Voice, then shuffle 2/2. But obviously gonna get bigger with all the auras you put on it. Unquenchable Fury. Enchanted creature has, when this creature attacks, it deals X damage to defending player, where X is the number of cards in their hand. And then when it is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return it to your hand. Ooh, yikes. Wow. The reality chip.
Read the whole thing.
The reality chip. A legendary artifact creature equipment jellyfish. That's a mouthful. Why is it a jellyfish? I'm not gonna ask.
So that it can be your commander.
Why do you want a jellyfish as a commander? Okay.
Jellyfish are nice and jelly.
You may look at the top card of your library okay. As long as it is attached to a creature, you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Configure 3. Wow. Ooh, look, it's a non-basic land. Contenuma Abandoned Mire. So tap, add black, and then channel. This is a new thing. It's kind of like cycling, but instead of drawing a card, you just get the effect for what I know. And so this is channel 4, and then discard it, mill 3 cards, then return a creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. This ability costs 1 less to cast for each legendary creature you control. Mukotai Soul Reaper. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another artifact or a creature. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains medicine till end of turn. Crew 2. And then an emblem for a planeswalker that I haven't seen, and then a samurai. All of the backs of these, like almost all of the backs, have been samurais.
Yeah, that's wild.
Alright, let's see. What's up next?
I bet Tamio's in this pack. We'll say it's right here.
What do you want to bet?
No, we're not doing this again.
Oh, are we betting on the Super Bowl today too?
Maybe. Probably not. Oh, hey, look, it's another samurai.
I mean, at least you can say your team is in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
That's a first.
Ryan. Unstoppable Ogre. When it enters the battlefield, target creature can't block this turn. It's a 4/1. That's kind of hilarious.
Oh no, that one puts in work. You play that, it crews a vehicle. Oh yeah, it's powerful.
Oh yeah. Now we've got the Thornwood Falls. When it enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters, you gain a life, and it taps for green or blue.
Gain land.
Dokuchi Silencer. Ninjutsu 1 in a black. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may discard a creature card. When you do, destroy target creature or planeswalker that player controls. Gravelighter. Flying. When Gravelighter enters the battlefield, draw a card if the creature died this turn, or if a creature died this turn. Otherwise, each player sacrifices a creature. Behold the Unspeakable. First it says, creatures you don't control get -2/-0 until your next turn. The second one says, if you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 4 cards. Otherwise, scry 2, then draw 2 cards. And then it becomes the Vision of the Unspeakable. Flying Trample, it gets +1/+1 for each card in your hand. Ooh, nice, another island. That one looks awesome. Beauty. Sunblade Samurai. Vigilance Channel 2. So you may discard it, search your library for a basic Plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You gain 2 life. Then we got the Aki Ronin. Whenever Samurai or Warrior you control attacks alone, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Next is the Coiling Stalker. Ninjutsu, 1 and a green, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control that does not have a +1/+1 counter on it. The Covert Technician is next. Ninjutsu, 1 and a blue, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may put an artifact card with mana value less than or equal to that damage from your hand onto the battlefield. I love how in these borders, it's like the artist is, it's anime art is what it is. It's kind of cool. March of the Otherworldly Light. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may exile any number of white cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value X or less. So that's interesting. Ascendant Acolyte. When it enters the battlefield, Ascendant Acolyte enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each +1/+1 counter among other creatures you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of +1/+1 counters on Ascendant Acolyte. So that is really powerful. March of Burgeoning Life. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may exile any number of green cards from your hand. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Choose a target creature with mana value less than X. Search your library for a creature card with the same name as that creature. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. In the neon border is the Scrap Wielder. You can tap it, sacrifice an artifact with mana value X. Return target artifact card with mana value less than X from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until end of turn. Nice. Ooh, there's Satsuki, the Living Lore. You can tap to put a lore counter on each saga you control. Activate this only as a sorcery. And then when Satsuki dies, you can choose up to 1. So you can return target saga or enchantment creature you control to its owner's hand, or you can return target saga card from your graveyard to your hand. Nice.
Oh, the Saga Commander.
And there's our token.
That was a pretty decent pack, but you know what wasn't in it?
Oh, you know?
No, you don't have anything for me there, do you?
He's out.
He's out of here. So, more realistic goal, you think we can get all 5 of the dragons? We've already got the blue one.
Better question, can we get all 3 planeswalkers, all 5 shrines, and all 5 dragons?
No. Brute Suit, Sunblade Samurai, 4 mana, 4/4 Vigilance, Channel. So Channel's an ability you can pay to discard this card, search your library for a basic plains, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, and you gain 2 life. So nice way to smooth out your draws. Enormous Energy Blade, 3 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +4/+0. When it becomes attached to a creature, tap that creature though. Yikes. And equip for 2.
Is it a lightsaber?
It is. Oh, we got there! this is the card that I wanted the most,
Master
and
Splinter!
it's in foil. This is going straight in my Dimir Rogues deck. The mill commander that I have from a few sets ago, the pre-con. Silver Fur Master, that's right, Master Splinter up in here. 1 blue, 1 black for a 2/2 with ninjutsu blue-black. So you pay the ninjutsu cost, return an unblocked attacker you control to hand, put this card onto the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. And it's in foil, that's right. Ninjutsu abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. Other ninja and rogue creatures you control get +1/+1. He's a lord, of course. Sweet. That one's staying out. That's my boy right there. The Long Reach of Night, 4 mana. First 2 chapters of the saga, each opponent sacks a creature unless they discard a card, and then it becomes a 0/4 with Menace. Whenever it attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in defending player's graveyard. Foil Plains. Reinforced Ronin. And it's in the alternate art frame. 1 mana for a 2/2 with haste. At the beginning of your end step, return Reinforced Ronin to its owner's hand, and you can channel it for 1 and a red, discard it to draw a card. So, excellent early game. Easy way to get in damage. If you pick it up late game and they're tapped out, you can still get it in for damage. Or if the board state's all stalled up, you just channel it to draw a card. You essentially cycle it. So, really great card. 7-Tail Mentor, 3 and a white. It's a creature Fox Samurai, 2/3. When it enters the battlefield or dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. I played blue-green vehicles at the pre-release, but white has quite a bit of vehicle support as well. Just didn't quite make it into white. Mukotai Ambusher, 3 and a black for a 3/2 rat ninja. Ninjutsu, 1 and a black with lifelink. Coiling Stalker. Pretty sure we've already seen that. Ooh, Farewell. Seb McKinnon foil. 4 white, sorcery, choose 1 or more. Exile all artifacts. Exile all creatures. Exile all enchantments. Exile all graveyards. And when you cast this, it goes in that order. So if you choose all of them, it will happen in that order. Everyone will lose their artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and then have to get rid of their graveyards. Got our commander card here, and holy smokes. 5 blue for a 3/3. That does not make it on the vanilla test. Let's see what it does. Myojin of Cryptic Dreams enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it if you cast it from hand. Remove an indestructible counter from it. Copy target permanent spell you control 3 times.
My God.
3 times. Holy cow. Yeah, I suppose that's a decent payoff for 8 mana. Mirror Box.
Yes!
That
card is so good. It's not so good, but it's
Well, I mean,
it's alright.
It's gonna be good in, like, Commander, but probably not super great in, like, Limited, right? So, 3 mana for an artifact. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. Each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1. Each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name as that creature. So, yeah, still maybe not super great for Commander. Surge Hacker Mech, we've seen this before, but not in the alternate Japanese art. Greasefang Okiba Boss, 1 white-black for a legendary rat pilot, 4/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, return target vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of your next end step. So it's going to bring it back to the battlefield for a turn. Then it goes in your hand so you can recast it. That's pretty sweet.
Gnarly. And of course, you have the Master Splinter on display.
Of course.
Of course.
I kept asking you guys which card you wanted to open the most, but I think that's the one I wanted the most. I know it's only an uncommon, but I got the perfect spot for it in my Demir mill deck, so...
Yeah. Another card I wanted to open was the Amayamomo Shinku.
The what?
It says you're already dead,
Oh.
but in Japanese it's Amayamomo Shinguru.
Oh, okay.
And it says destroy target creature that's without damage.
Well, I think that's a common, so we might get it right here.
So, Thundersteel Colossus. This card is high mana value, but it's pretty good. It's Trample, Haste, Crew 2. That's right, you heard me. Crew 2 for a 7/7.
So if you can get it on the battlefield, you know, you got a couple 1/1s laying around. Now they become a 7/7 Trample Haste.
Oh yeah. Kami of Restless Shadows. Yeah. Kappa Tech Wrecker.
You've seen that.
This is a normal.
That's it.
Boom.
Yeah, but it's a Ninja Turtle. It goes with Master Splinter.
Oh, it is? Oh.
Turtle Ninja. That's the whole joke. Look at that bad boy.
I know. Is that the only one? Or...
Oh, don't be spoiling the pack, bro. Yeah, man.
So this is the Blue Shrine. It's a flying 0/4, and at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. If you do, target player mills X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. So, and then the Modern Age, draw a card, then discard a card for the first 2, and then it'll flip to Vector Glider. It's a flying 2/3. We've got a mountain with the Almighty Dragon in the background. Very glorious. Arrow of the Ancient Fang, we've seen that. Guardians of Oboru. Defender, modified creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have Defender. Oh, we've already seen that. Yeah, we've seen this too.
Foil, though. Yeah, it's in foil.
And then, Soul Transfer. I don't think that we've seen this one.
I don't think we've seen this, no.
So 3 mana and sorcery. Choose one. If you control an artifact and an enchantment, as you cast the spell, you may choose both. Exile target creature, planeswalker. Wow. And then return target creature or planeswalker card from the graveyard to your hand.
Nice.
So you get rid of their thing and get your thing back. Kosai Penitent Warlord. As long as it is enchanted, equipped, as long as it's modified.
No, and a counter. It has to be all 3.
Oh.
It has.
It has, whenever it deals combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards, and it deals that much damage to each opponent.
Nice. That's the commander card.
Oh yeah.
Alright, here we go.
This one is weird. I don't think that it fits in very well with this set, but it might. Hinata Dawn Crowned. So 4 with the... So it's 1 blue, red, white.
That's 1 America.
Oh, yeah. Alright, fine then. It's 1 America. And then Flying Trample. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each target. And then spells your opponents cast cost 1 more for each target. So, if you have like a board wipe, it's pretty much like free.
Okay. You say so.
Yeah.
Tameshi Reality Architect. We've seen this one, but in regular. This one's cooler. And then
Oh, borderless, but not neon. So close.
is this neon?
No, the Haretsugu.
No, I know, but is this the neon
No,
border?
no. It's only this card. This card has a special neon border treatment, which, when you pull it, the outside is the neon color. There's red, blue, and green that you get in packs, and yellow that you get at the stores. So,
Interesting.
but yeah, that's the one. So we're close.
Then Human Monk. It's just elf, and then of course a samurai on the back.
All right, so we got to shout it out up in the chat here. We got partial. I know, right, Ray? That's what I'm saying, man. He kept spoiling that too on us. But you know, we still have 5 packs. We're halfway through our box. It could still happen, but yeah, man. Got to shout out our partial sponsors, Dueling Land. We got all this product up there. They've got a lot of sealed product. Decent amount of singles and events every Friday night. We do Friday Night Magic, mostly limited events. If you need any product for this set or any other standard legal sets, check them out. They're all over social media, Facebook, Instagram. You can see new product. They don't just sell Magic products. They sell all sorts of TCGs, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, a lot of rare ones. FAO, Schwartz, all that. Check them out. You can call them up or hit them up on the web for any of your TCG needs. Dueling Land in Aurora, Colorado. All right, let's get the second half of this going down.
I feel like with all the boxes we're gonna open, we could get all 5 shrines and the dragons and whatever else. Yeah, and the planeswalkers. It's possible.
I mean, it's possible, but we're only opening this box on the stream, so...
Oh.
Just because all the other boxes are sitting here on the table with us does not mean that we're going to subject these poor innocent people to, like, 6 hours of pack opening.
Oh, yeah. Alright, let's see. Mirror Shell Crab, it's got Ward 3 and Channel 3. Simeon Sling, equipped creature gets +1/+1 whenever it or equipped creature becomes blocked. It deals 1 damage to defending creature, and it's got reconfigured too. Patchwork Automaton. Ward 2, whenever you cast an artifact spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Patchwork Automation.
I think it's just automaton.
Automaton. Oh, we got a shrine. It's Goshitainai of Boundless Figure.
How about Go Shintai?
Goshintai. Yeah.
We
Try-
might get all 5 shrines.
We
We
might
might
get
get
all
all 5 shrines.
We might. Alright, we might get there.
Trample. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target shrine for each shrine you control. That's kind of fun. Asuka's Many Journeys. The first one says, you may play an additional land this turn. Then it says, you gain 3 life. And then it becomes Likeliness of the Seeker. Whenever it becomes blocked, untap up to 3 lands you control. We got a nice mountain with the fire and stuff. That's cool. Ooh, Jukai Trainee. Whenever it blocks or becomes blocked, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
So that's a throwback to the original Kamigawa block with Bushido. Bushido was one of the main keywords in that set, and it was essentially that. It's really confusing, especially to new players. They kind of get blown out by it. But yeah, this is the only Bushido card in this set.
I played it at the pre-release. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I put in some work.
Skyblessed Samurai. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each enchantment you control, and it has flying, and it's 4/4 for 7 mana.
Yeah, but if you have a bunch of enchantment creatures, like...
That's fair. Alright, Fang of Shigeki. 1/1 Death Toucher. That one put in work too.
That's our bitey snake.
Yeah. Moon Circuit Hacker. I think we've seen her.
Yeah.
Lion Stash. You can pay 1. Oh, we've seen it. Okay, cool. That saves me. Aki Battle Squad. Whenever 1 or more modified creatures you control attack, untap all modified creatures you control. After this combat phase, there is an additional combat phase. This ability triggers only once each turn. March of Swirling Mist. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may exile any number of blue cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. And up to X target creatures phase out. Ooh, there he is, the Satoru Umezawa. He's the ninja guy. Whenever you activate a ninjutsu ability, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This ability only triggers once each turn, and each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu 5.
I think it's just 4.
4.
It's 2...
Yeah.
2 blue-black.
Then we got the March of Bargaining Life. I've seen that one before. And there's our samurai guy.
All of them have samurai.
They make these things impossible to get into.
I just tried dual slides until it finally cracks.
Yeah, right? Sunblade Samurai, we've seen that one. Mirror Shell Crab. We had, on Friday, there were a couple of customers in the store who each bought a collector booster, and one of them said that there was a lot of duplicates. I haven't seen a whole lot of duplicates in this one, but there's a couple there. Yeah, using scissors is good. I mean, I've got a knife here, but I don't know. I don't like busting it out on the camera. When we were young, up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 until end of turn. If you control an artifact and an enchantment, those creatures also gain lifelink until end of turn. Tales of Master Sashiro. First 2 chapters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. It gains vigilance until end of turn, and vigilance haste 5/5. Bam. Note, on the 3rd chapter of these sagas, they exile and return to the battlefield, so unless they say haste, they cannot attack that turn. Ooh, I think I like this swamp more than the Raining Mist one. Yeah, this one's popping a lot more. Yeah, they are sweet. 7-Tail Mentor, we've seen that one before. Jukai Trainee, pretty sure we've seen that one. Oh man, what's better than a foil Master Splinter?
Man, you made it
The
seem
alternate-
like you got something cool, not Master Splinter.
Bro, it's the alternate art.
It's Master Splinter.
Come
right
on, it's
away.
Master Splinter, man. What are you complaining about?
It's 2 Master Splinters.
I know, it's an uncommon, and you know what? I don't care. That's what I wanted. Nazumi Prowler, 1 and a black for a 3/1 with Ninjutsu, 1 and a black. When it enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains Death Touch and lifelink until end of turn. Let's see if we can get that better. Alright. Ogre Head Helm, 1 and a red for a 2/2 equipped creature gets +2/+2. When it or equipped creature deal combat damage to a player, you may sack it. If you do, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. So, note that if you attack with a creature, and you attack with the creature would get sacrificed. This would stay on the battlefield. That's how you do that. Myojin of Blooming Dawn, 5 white for a 4/6. When it enters... It enters with an indestructible counter on it if you cast it from your hand, and remove an indestructible counter from it. Create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token for each permanent you control. Wow, that's pretty powerful. The other one was too. Kodama of the West Tree, so I believe this is the third Kodama we've seen. The East Tree was in Commander Legends, so 2 and a green for a 3/3 with reach. Modified creatures you control have trample. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Yeah, I think I like the East Tree more too. And another Grease Fang in the alternate art, and the Kami War.
Oh man.
I think they could have chosen a better name for that. That has little bit of flashbacks to World War II. Not sure that's PC, buddy. This saga is 1 Wooburg, so white, blue, black, red, green. First chapter, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Second chapter, return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then each opponent discards a card. And then on the back, Okagachi Made Manifest. It's a 6/6 flying trample. It is all colors, and when it attacks, defending player chooses a non-land card in your graveyard. Return that card to your hand. Okagachi Made Manifest gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the mana value of that card.
I thought that you said that there were only 5 dragons. Way to go, Dad.
Well, this one's technically a saga.
Oh, well, it's still fine. Whatever. Fine.
Whatever. Alright, last 3 packs here.
You gotta know. It's not a samurai.
It's the last token did not have a samurai on the back.
Oh man, does it? Nope. It's not
2
a
in a
samurai. It's not a samurai.
You jinxed yourself, man.
Master's Rebuke. We've seen that. Unstoppable Ogre. We've seen that. Tawashi Guidebot. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then 4, tap, draw a card. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each modified creature you control. Spinning Wheel Kick. Target creature you control deals X damage. No. It deals damage equal to its powered X creatures. Not to each. No. X target creatures and or planeswalkers.
There you go. Slow down, bud.
Era of Enlightenment. Scry 2. Then you gain 2 life, and then it flips into Hand of Enlightenment. First strike 2/2. A very pretty forest. Haigo Yamazaki, the General. Trample whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone. You may cast target artifact or card from your graveyard this turn. 7-Tail Mentor.
Ooh, and the foil.
On the foil. Prosperous Thief. Ninjutsu 2. Whenever 1 or more ninja or rogue creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token.
Oh man, that's going in my mill rogue stack.
You seen that card? Scrap Welder. Tap, sacrifice an artifact with mana value X, and then return target artifact card with mana value less than X from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until end of turn. And then Kappa Cannoneer. Is this like a Blastoid?
Yeah, it's Blastoid. Exactly.
What the heck?
Read it.
Improvise. No clue what Improvise is. War 4. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Kappa Cannoneer, and it can't be blocked this turn. Do you know what improvise is? Either of you?
I'm looking it up.
Alright.
I think it means that you can tap artifacts. Yeah. Improvise is a keyword ability introduced in Aether Revolt. It is similar to Convoke, but uses artifacts instead of creatures. So you would tap you can tap any number of untapped artifacts you control to help pay its mana cost, which is 5 and a blue.
Don't you like that Blastoise?
Oh yeah.
It's a blast. Yeah, what do you mean? How could you not like it?
Whatever. Lizard Blades, 2 mana, double strike. Equipped creature has double strike, reconfigure 2. Oh, it's a reconfigure creature. Oh, well, I guess it's a 1/1. So.
Lizard Blades.
Oh, yeah. Well, March of the Swirling Mist and new thing, and then.
There it is. There's dragon number 2.
Black Dragon. This one is very cool. I'm pretty sure it's on the back of the pre-release kits too, or somewhere on the pre-release kit. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
See, you don't believe me. Pre-release kit, Kamigawa. There you go. So, Junie, the Midnight Sky, legendary creature, Dragon Spirit, Flying Menace. When it dies, choose 1. Each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life, or put a non-dragon creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, you lose 2 life. And then Spirit Menace 2/2 and a Spirit 1/1.
2 more packs. We can still get 2 more dragons.
We could. Are we going to though?
Flip the coin off camera, and the coin said this is the one.
The coin told you to do it.
Yeah. I don't have a mind of my own. Hold on. It's perfect. It's got a samurai token on the back. That means we're starting off great. Oh, Sam.
Yeah, be careful of the master.
My bad. Alright. We start off with the Planner Incision. Yeah. Exile target artifact or creature, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Mutokai Embusher, Ninjutsu, and Lifelink. Historian's Wisdom, enchant artifact or creature. When it enters the battlefield, if enchanted permanent is a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield, draw a card. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +2/+1.
So the reason why they say that is so that you can equip it to vehicles, so when they become crewed, then they get the bonus.
Nice.
We haven't seen a vehicle in a while. It seems like the first couple packs were just like vehicle, huh?
Mm-hmm. Essence Capture, counter target creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. That one's cool.
I mean, a 2-mana counter spell can't beat that.
Mm-hmm. Bosejiu, Reacher's Skyward. Search your library for up to 2 basic forest cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. Then it says, put up to 1 target land card from your graveyard on top of your library, and then it transforms into the branch of Boseiju. Reach, it gets +1/+1 for each land you control.
So we got a Boseiju, but not the one we wanted.
Yeah. Look, there's the mountain city with the snow. It looks awesome.
Oh, that one's great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Nice and cool.
Mine? Is it a mine town, or are you saying you want it? Unlike your pulls, these ones are not for sale, buddy.
Imperial Subduer.
Maybe we can strike a deal.
Whenever samurai or warrior you control taps alone, tap target creature you don't control. Peerless Samurai Menace yes.
Trying to find words there.
We've seen this guy. Fanga Shigeki. Biting Palm Ninja. Ninjutsu 2, it enters the battlefield with a menace counter on it. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may remove remove you can remove a menace counter from it. When you may remove the menace counter from it. When you do, that player reveals their hand and you choose a non-land card from it. Exile that card.
Nice.
What was that?
Ooh.
Shishiro, the Shattered Blade.
That's on the Luck of Lucian from A Tribe Called Quest. Come on, man.
So we got Chishiro, the Shattered Blade. Whenever an aura or equipment enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 red spirit creature token with Menace. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each modified creature you control. Yugen defends the temple. First chapter is create a 1/1 green human monk creature token with tap to add 1 green. And then you put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Then exile their Saga and turn it back as the Remnant of Rising Star. Flying whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X. When you do, put X +1/+1 counters on that creature. As long as you control 5 or more modified creatures, the Rising Star gets +5/+5 and has trample. So that's pretty powerful. Oh, what is it?
Oh, Kotose.
Kotose, the Silent Spider. When it enters the battlefield, exile target card other than a basic land card from an opponent's graveyard. Search that player's graveyard, hand, and library for any numbers of cards with the same name as that card, and exile them. Then that player shuffles. For as long as you control Kotose, you may play one of the exiled cards, and you may spend mana as though it were any color to cast it. Jeez.
Oh, so we've got the red legendary land, and now we've got the black one, but we really wanted the green one, the Bosuje.
Didn't we already get this more?
No, we got the red one.
I don't know. It's a land, so it taps for black, and then you channel, mill 3 cards, then return a creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. And then, oh, the Mechaton. That's cool.
Mecha Titan.
Mecha Titan. It's all colors, flying, vigilance, trample, haste, 10/10. That is awesome.
With the core?
Yeah. So before we get into this last pack and end our stream, I do have a friend, Scotian Sugar. She's trying to get a new place to move her elderly mom into. They're doing a raid train over here on Twitch today. She's looking for a little help. If you got a couple bucks you could toss at her, really mean a lot to me and obviously her. Got the link there in the chat. Anything helps. Also, got great friends over at Dueling Land. Provided us with these collector boosters today. Any TCG needs that you have, you can check them out on the internet, Facebook, and what's that other one? It's not Instagram. Yeah, it's the one I'm not on. Anyway, Facebook and Instagram, they put up all the new sales for all the different TCGs that they carry. Check them out. You can reach them online to see about getting online sales as well, or see them in person in Aurora, Colorado. So that we pulled this out of our last pre-release kit. So you create this Mecha Titan, right? With this Mecha Titan core. It's a 2-mana, 2/4 vehicle. You can pay 5, exile it, and 4 other artifact creatures and/or vehicles you control. Create Mecha Titan, a legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature token with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste that's all colors. When that token leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with Mecha Titan core, except Mecha Titan core, to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. And it can crew 2, so it becomes a creature, 2/4. Real fun stuff. I'd love to see someone pull that off in a limited event.
They did.
Oh, someone did at the pre-release?
Yeah. I watched it go down.
You watched it go down.
Oh, yeah. It happened.
You can
This one was formed.
smell the neon. You think we're going to get 2 Haidatsugus, huh? So, Simian Sling, we saw this, but if you look closely, it's a little monkey helper that sits on your shoulder. That's that dude's face right there. Pretty funny.
Face.
Rugged Highlands, that's our gain land there. You gain a life when it enters.
There's 2 things I don't like about you.
Yeah, I know. Oh, kids, aren't they lovely too? Boon of Bosaiju. Instant, target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value among permanents you control. Untap it. Roadside Reliquary. I've not seen this one today. Tap for a colorless, pay 2 tap, sacrifice it, draw a card if you control an artifact, draw a card if you control an enchantment. So, if you control both, which isn't hard, there are a lot of creatures that are both enchantments and artifacts in this set, you can draw 2 cards. That's nice. Modern Age, 2 mana for the Saga. First 2 chapters, draw a card, then discard a card, and then it becomes Flying 2/3. Not bad. Here's our other Swamp. It does look a lot better in the light where you can actually kind of see the art, but when it's dark, it's just kind of hard to see. Eiganjo Exemplar, we've seen that one. Oh, and this, see, I don't understand this. We had a lot of packs like this too, where you get the alternate art and one's the regular and one's the foil in the same pack.
Like, literally right next to each other. It's not
Yeah.
just in the same pack, it's back to back.
Nezumi Prowler, 2 mana for a 3/1 ninjutsu 2. When it enters, target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink. Ooh, I kind of like that. Kappa Tech Wrecker in the alternate art, our Ninja Turtle.
Turtle Ninja, thank you.
Invoke the Ancients. 1 green, 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 green. Sorcery. Create 2 4/5 green spirit creature tokens. For each of them, put your choice of a Vigilance, Reach, or Trample counter on it. So whatever helps you the most in the game. Release to Memory is our commander card. 3 and a white for exile target opponent's graveyard. For each creature card exiled this way, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Katose the Silent Spider in the borderless. Here it is, just like yours.
Soul Eating Sword!
Eater of Virtue, the younger boy pulled this in the pre-release, and look at that art, it's just stunning. So, 1 mana, legendary artifact, equipment. Whenever equipped creature dies, exile it. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and as long as a card exiled with it has flying, equipped creature has flying. The same is true for most keyword abilities, but we'll just go over them real quick. First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Protection, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. 1 mana, equip 1, equipment for +2/+0. This right here is a beater. Woo!
You put that on the Mechanaut, you go bye-bye.
E-
You give it all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, except that's a token. Tokens cease to exist everywhere except the battlefield. Well, it's not the neon, but it is a planeswalker, the Wandering Emperor in the borderless full art, alternate art, 2 white, flash. As long as the Wandering Emperor entered the battlefield this turn, you may activate her loyalty abilities anytime you could cast an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. It gains first strike until end of turn. Create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance. Exile target tapped creature. You gain 2 life. It's a world beater. Yes, it is still moist. I don't have a problem saying it. Hopefully you don't have a problem hearing it. And our treasure token. So, although we didn't get our Neon Haidatsugu, we still did get our Master Splinter. Still got a few other goodies there. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you didn't catch the whole stream, we will be putting this up on YouTube later. You can just, that card has value, yeah? How much? I'm sure it's probably good. I mean, everything's pretty valuable at release. I mean, we haven't even hit the actual release, so I'm sure it's probably pretty good, but I'm sure I can find a home for it, though, so... Anyway, you can find me on YouTube, same username, CoBudman, C-O-Budman. If you didn't catch the whole stream, you can go back and see it. But thanks again for everyone that tuned in. We'll see you again soon. Peace.